What's the question?
So, first to state your name, you graduating from UWM this summer, and what you're doing right now.
Okay. My name is Antonio Ramirez. I'm, like you said, I'm graduating from UWM this summer with a bunch of degrees. I'm going to be a teacher, history and economics teacher, social studies teacher, and right now I'm student teaching at South Division High School.
So, have you seen diversity and MPS enrollment? Do you see them like inextricably linked right now at UW Milwaukee?
Say that again?
Do you see diversity in Milwaukee public schools as kind of like synonymous within UW Milwaukee, with the falling rates of diversity and falling rates of MPS enrollment? Do you think that there's kind of like a relationship between those two things?
I think there is a relationship because UWM has a specific role in the community. I think UWM's got to recognize that it is the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. It's got to acknowledge the reality that it lives in, and the reality that it lives in is it lives in a city that's incredibly segregated, a city that's got incredible achievement gaps in education. Amazing. They're just ridiculous. It's got incredibly high amounts of incarceration for people of color, and it's got a huge wealth gap between white people and people of color. And UWM doesn't acknowledge that. They seem to ignore it. They keep pandering and trying to recruit people who will make them look successful instead of taking all these wonderful resources we have and all these privileges and educational resources to better the community. It seems like they want to move away from the community rather than move closer to the community.
So what do you feel like is the reason why MPS would be at such a low rate right now with enrollment?
Into UWM?
Into UWM specifically, like, is it?
This is the thing. At South Division High School, you see, South Division High School, first of all, is an amazing school. It's got amazingly dedicated teachers. It's got amazing students who are talented, smart, who got their own talents, kids every 6:30 in the morning, they get there, they play basketball. People do after-school activities. A lot of kids have jobs. They do amazing people, right? So the thing at South Division High School, though, is 3 times a week you'll see a recruiter from the Army, from the Navy, from the Marines at South Division High School at the cafeteria. There'll be people sitting there talking with the students, joking with them, laughing, say, hey, you should holler at me later, and all this stuff. You don't see UWM there or any other colleges there, but especially UWM. I've never seen them there. I've been there for 4 months now. I've never seen them there. So what is a child going to do? What is a student going to do? They're obviously going to be steered towards opportunities that are presented to them. UWM is not present. They're not present. And there's tons of students who not only could be successful at UWM, but could add to this campus community and add to the city of Milwaukee. But, I think UWM's just dropping the ball. And who's picking it up? The Marines.
Who is picking up the ball here? Do you feel like students are picking up the ball, like LSU, with some of their intentions with recruiting?
Definitely. I think you look at places like this place, like Links, Peer Mentoring Center. You look at Latino Student Union. You look at the Black Student Union. You look at all these the Asian students, the American Indian students. You talk to all these students and they realize they're closer to the community. We got like a double duty. We got to educate ourselves, and also we got a meeting late tonight. We got to educate ourselves, and we also got to help the people that are coming after us. We have to open that door because it's closed right now. So you talk to any one of these students, these student groups, and all of them inherently understand the importance of education. People take it seriously, and also they understand the importance of trying to help bring the next generation up. And it's always a struggle,
Teach. So what is the way to combat? You see this trend. Like, how do you change that trend? How do you make the crossroads something different than what it will be if students don't pick up the ball, or if someone doesn't pick up the ball?
I think it comes where it always comes. Yesterday we were at the immigrant march. Today in my class we were talking about the open housing marches. Who's been the leaders? It's been young people, and like these guys were saying, one of them heard, if a teacher doesn't take it seriously, how's a student going to take it seriously? And that's really true. It's all of us, and we gotta quit messing around. We gotta be serious with these kids, and we gotta teach them not what we think they should know, but what they need to know. You know, I'm sitting here teaching them about when I got to school, I felt like I got to teach them about the War of 1812 and all this stuff. Now I realize that there's more important things, and these kids have a different type of knowledge. The War of 1812 isn't going to help them, you know what I'm saying? It's going to help them understand the world, but they got to know about their own history first. They got to know about their own languages. They got to study their own situation. That's what they teach us here at UWM, is how do we look at our own situation, analyze it, and make it better. We're not teaching them, and unfortunately, there's some really great teachers at MPS, but there's a lot of teachers that need to, that they need to be moving on, these older folks. And UWM provides more teachers to MPS than any other institution. UWM, they always blame it on MPS, right? But they got a role too. It's circular. We send in teachers, and I know because I've been through the education program there, and it's kind of scary to see some of the people that are going into these schools to teach these kids. So we need a better teacher education program, and all these people like we're doing. Yeah.
Really, they boxing out teachers of color that would really love to come in MPS and do that.
Definitely, and I just read today there's less teachers of color now than there were in the 1970s. So at the same time in Milwaukee, some of these people that are giving $1 million donations to UWM are the same people that turn around and say teachers are getting paid too much, that we should privatize schools, that we should cut funding to schools, that we should put handcuffs on kids, unruly kids in school. Like, a kid needs handcuffs, there's a bigger problem. Some people talk about it like, okay, 50% of the students drop out of school. 50% of Black and Latino students drop out of school. American Indian students is even worse, right? So, but just talking about Black and Latino, 50% of those students drop out. If you own a business and 50% of your employee or your customers are unsatisfied, you're doing something wrong. It's not their fault, and especially if they're kids, there's something wrong with the education system when half of the people going through are not succeeding, right? There's something wrong, and it needs to be fixed. And UWM's got the research capacity, we got the leaders, we got the young leaders, we got all this beautiful offices, everything. We got to focus ourselves instead of trying to find the next pill or there's a guy doing research here on armor for tanks, trying to make it more lightweight. He's one of the top paid researchers here. Making lighter armor for tanks so they can move faster in war. And we got a war right here.
Can I say anything?